Welcome to the 2019 SEMA show here on Fox Sports. I'm Nick Miles.
And I'm Mike Caudill.
Now, there is a lot more to the automotive industry than new cars.
More than $44 billion is spent on the automotive aftermarket every year, from wheels and tires to paint and all-out performance.
Each year, the aftermarket industry gathers here in Las Vegas for the Specialty Equipment Market Association trade show, better known as SEMA.
This week-long show features 2,400 different vendors and more than 161,000 people from 140 countries around the world.
The show takes up 1.2 million square feet with more than 300,000 new products every year and more than 1,500 custom-built cars, trucks, and SUVs.
We're going to take a look at some of the customized vehicles. We're going to meet some of the special people that make this show one of the best shows for the automotive aftermarket on the planet.
Welcome to the 2019 SEMA show here on Fox Sports.
One of the most important and anticipated vehicles in 2019, this vehicle over my shoulder, it's the all-new Toyota Supra sports car.
As soon as the Supra hit the streets, the aftermarket crews went to work, and there are more than 20 modified Supras on the floor here in the Toyota booth. So this is one of the vehicles that caught my eye. It's the GT4. The GT4 is lightened by about 400 pounds. They've given it 500 horsepower. This vehicle has the regular ZF transmission out of the Supra, because GT4 only allow a 7-speed. That means that they had to electronically modify that transmission. And at the back here, it comes with its very own picnic table. Now, the opportunity has arisen to capture one of the Toyota executives. Ed Lucas is the Group Vice President of Marketing. You got to take a Supra and mess with it in any way you wanted.
Rutledge Wood is obviously a good friend of ours, and he's a big Supra fan. So he was always saying, hey, when the new one comes out, we should figure out a way to do something that is going to showcase what you can do from a customization perspective at SEMA. This is the Heritage Edition. I really thought that the 4 really was the one that everyone relates to, everyone remembers. It's been 20 years. There was some tuning done to get it up to 500 horsepower, some suspension changes, obviously wheels and brakes. The paint is just spectacular.
Yes,
the metal flake that is in here is unbelievable. Headlights and taillights are really reminiscent of that gen, but the biggest thing was the wing. And when the guys from the Motorsports Garage came to me and said, take a look at this wing, we actually took it off of that gen and put it onto the car, and then I said, okay. And so far, everyone is walking up and taking pictures of the wing. So someone out there, if we don't hurry up and make it, someone in the aftermarket is going to make that and be out there quickly.
All right, guys, well, we've made our way over to the accessories part of the SEMA show, and it's not just about cars on carpet, well, kind of, but it's also about accessorizing your vehicle in a way that gets more performance out of it. So what's the number one question people want to know here at the SEMA show? How do I increase the horsepower and the torque of my vehicle without having to do a big engine swap? I'm here in the Bully Dog booth at the SEMA show. They have a new product called the BDX. You actually can increase your horsepower almost 20%.
What we do is we go into the ECU and remap the whole thing to unlock the horsepower, the potential that the factory leaves on the table, and increase fuel mileage.
Who's the biggest market for you guys with this product?
Really and truly our diesel guys, but then we have gas burners like Mustangs and Camaros and stuff like that as well, and F-150s.
So if you're going to program it, what does it entail?
You plug into the OBD port, you download the firmware required for that vehicle, and about 8 to 10 minutes, you've added 130 horse and like 220 foot-pounds of torque. Not to mention you increase fuel mileage as well.
One of the big questions consumers will have will be, does this eliminate the EPA regulation on my vehicle? Is it compliant still?
We are 100% compliant with EPA. With this truck alone, we picked up a little over 105 horse, something like that, 250 foot-pounds of torque, and it's 100% emissions legal.
Guys, it's not always about cars on carpet here at SEMA. It's also about accessories that make your car better and in an affordable way. All right, pricing for the BDX starts right around $399. So $5,000 for a new engine or $399. Nick, we'll let you decide.
Now, when you want turbos, Garrett, of course, has been around since the 1930s, and they got a lot of product here at SEMA. So Eric's here from Garrett. Tell me a little bit about, if I want to increase the power of an existing vehicle I have by, let's say, 20%, what has Garrett got to offer?
So here's what we have for you, 20%. What we're going to do is replacing your turbo and your intercooler with these turbos. It's plug and play, very easy to fit in, and you get 20% more power. We transform the heat into power by lowering the temperature with these nice intercoolers.
If 20%, Eric, is not enough, and I want to go crazy and let's say 50%, what do you got?
This one is the G35 1050. That can go up to 1050 horsepower. Ooh. And it's easy to bring 1000 horsepower, but it's not easy to bring it with such a compact size. That's what makes the whole difference in our G series. We're bringing a lot of power in very compact size, so easy to fit in the engine compartment. We're using some of these technologies in the car that we have on the booth. It's a Lamborghini Hurricane. We got a V8 with a twin turbo, 1000 horsepower, woo, manual gearbox. I tell you, I'd like to drive it as soon as I can.
When we return, we'll take a look at two very different Ram trucks and some absolutely stunning Line-X bedliner products. And we'll head over to look at what's new in truck beds, a new twist on a very old product.
You're watching SEMA on Fox Sports.
Welcome back to Fox Sports coverage of the 2019 SEMA show. All right, so as we noted at the top of the show, the automotive aftermarket is a $44 billion industry, and the automotive off-road market is one of the single largest growing parts of the auto industry. So when we talk about upfitting our vehicle, one of the first places where we stop is right here in the Line-X booth every year, because they're always doing things to upfit a vehicle. Now, I hear there are some special things, Dennis, happening at Line-X.
So we've introduced a few new tonneau covers, but most importantly for this show, we've also introduced our first Truck Gear by Line-X topper. And we're very excited to bring that to our franchisees. It's something they've been asking for a while.
Every year at SEMA, there's always one vehicle that comes to the show where you know you're going to see a lot of them on the show floor. Case in point this year, the all-new Jeep Gladiator, because it's one of the most customizable vehicles in the market. Well, this one is like no other on the show floor here in the Line-X booth. I'm going to get to the guy that built it. Kenny Fitzer with 0 to 60 Designs.
This year, Line-X wanted something completely out of the box, something original. We came out with a really good set of doors. That was a composite door, but instead of using metal, we used all composites, and they're lightweight and they're durable. But what's cool about this is we use all functional parts that were all from the factory. Biggest thing we did is we did color. We created a system that we could have 3 or 4 different colors, and we could actually top coat it with a clear product, which is the same polyurea that they're using in the market, but really change the industry on what you can give people. Like, we wanted a hood that had a light bar in it instead of having just a hood that didn't have a light bar. I don't want to have any surface lights or anything. I want it all hidden. Really trying to give them the next level of a Truck Gear product in the market.
All right, so innovation is the key word here in the Line-X booth. It's more than just spray and bed liners. It's now a fully encompassing aftermarket business.
Mopar is the aftermarket wing of Dodge cars and Ram trucks. They've got 14 custom vehicles and hundreds of products on display. One of the vehicles that they've created is a stunning concept truck they call the Mopar Lowliner. Now, interestingly enough, the Mopar only paid $6,800 for this truck. They found it in a barn and it was completely trashed. This 1968 D200 has been rebuilt. The bed from a modern day Ram truck, the walls from the same truck. Now they've given it some classic looks. These look like steel wheels you might have seen on an original 1968, where they painted them in a different color. They also made them huge wheels that you would have never found on a vehicle of this year. On the inside, the original floor shifter, everything's been completely reconstituted. They took out the original engine and they put in this 5.9 diesel engine to really rock this lowliner. Mopar also made a custom off-road truck made for adventure. The Ram 1500 Rebel off-the-grid concept is designed to be self-sufficient on a long overland drive. Now, I could spend 20 minutes showing you the cool things on this overlanding OTG truck. Of course, it has integrated winch at the front here, some new lights on it, lots of graphics. They have the roof tent, also the ladder to get up here. Come to the back of the vehicle and check out some of the things that they have in the back. They actually have an integrated full sink, a full stove, cutting board, pots and pans underneath, refrigerator which actually slides out and you can put freezer items in, even a mobile fireplace here. All this around the vehicle can mean that you survive in the wilderness for several weeks, and most of these accessories are available from Mopar and many of them from Yakima.
All right, Nick, so when I say tissue, you say?
Kleenex.
And when I say automotive lubricant, you say?
Gotta be WD-40.
And that's right. So 4 out of 5 households across the country are carrying this product in their cabinets.
The WD-40 actually came around in 1953. What does it stand for? WD, water displacement 40. It took the Rocket Chemical Company 40 different tries to get the formula absolutely right. And right now, they sell 1 million cans of this every single week.
This year at the show, we're debuting our new penetrant with flexible straw. A really cool, innovative item that's going to save auto technicians a lot of time and money, because time is money for them. They don't want to have to tear things apart. So our penetrant has a really cool 8-inch flexible straw that gets in those hard to reach places.
Now this year, WD-40 has brought an incredible 1966 Ford Bronco to SEMA. So this vintage 4x4 Bronco is actually going to be auctioned off at this year's SEMA. And all the proceeds that come from this truck are actually going to a charity called Child Help. What Child Help do is help in the prevention and treatment of child abuse. The Bronco has been updated with Ford's ultra-hot 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 engine, a 5-inch lift, custom suspension, and modified carrier axles at both ends. They've even painted the Bronco to match the shade of the WD-40 can. So what will WD-40 invent next? Coming up from SEMA, we'll see a car that's completely street illegal, and we'll find out what the crazy car fans are looking at this year's show.
Welcome back to Fox Sports coverage of the 2019 SEMA show here in Las Vegas. It's all about pavement pounding performance here in the Mopar booth, Nick.
Absolutely. If you want a car that's only legal on the track and is illegal on the road, we got it lined up for you. Introducing the brand new Dodge Challenger Dragback. Now there's one guy that knows all about this vehicle. It's Chad Seymour. Chad, first of all, let's talk a little bit about why are you making a car that is not street legal?
This car is purpose-built. It's engineered specifically for the track, and it's a turnkey package that racers can purchase and take immediately onto the track. It's a 354 cubic inch. It has a race-developed supercharger, a lot more horsepower and torque. It has double adjustable shocks in the front and rear. It's a whole new chassis, certified NHRA. The exterior's been updated. Why not make it look just as menacing as the street cars that are out there?
Now my only suggestion with this vehicle is before you do a 0 to 60 mile an hour time in it, you might want to put a towel down. I'll just leave that right there.
All right, so a little bit of SEMA trivia for you. Back in 2010, they created an award program for those that have SUVs and 4x4s here at the show. One company has actually won that award 10 years in a row, that being Jeep.
We have been honored with such an award that's actually voted on by the people who are customizing. Making these vehicles unique, special, super capable is something we're really proud of. For the most part, everything on this vehicle is actually available today at dealers. Our tube doors are something that we're proud of. They look and feel and sound significantly more substantial than anything else that's out there. Surrounding these tube doors are something that we're calling conceptual. We love to use events like SEMA to get a little feedback on, is this something we should bring to market?
So there you have it. Jeep continues to be one of the most desirable brands for off-road enthusiasts. One of those main reasons, its close relationship with Mopar.
Now the heart and soul of the SEMA show is the true aftermarket. Small independent companies that make aftermarket parts for just about any vehicle. And a perfect example of that is Truck Hero. So what is the best-selling bed cover in the industry? Well, it's Back Industries Backflip.
The first thing you will see are radius corners. It really cleans up the edge. And once you fully open up the cover, it just blends in. It looks like it's made for the truck.
Now I found a multifunction tailgate to sit down on, and I've come to the Xtang Exceed booth where they have a saying which is seamless and secure. What does that mean about their truck bed covers?
So Nick, what we've done with this new Exceed cover is we've covered the entire set of individual hard panels that allow it to fold with a continuous vinyl covering called Enduracoat. So it gives you a beautiful finish, and it also prevents water from seeping into the seals. The secure element is this new rotary release that we put in the back panel. The user is merely just going to reach their hand in. With one hand, you're going to rotate the rotary release mechanism. It'll release the latches, and then you just lift up on the panel.
Now, Gladiator has dominated SEMA this year, showing off all the accessories that you can put on one. And of course, it is no exception that in the Truck Hero area, there is a Gladiator bed cover. Hank is here. Hank, tell me about this one. What's it called and why is it significant?
So this is our Armor's bed cover line. It's specifically designed for the Gladiator. We have 4 versions. You have a soft folding one, a soft rolling one, a hard rolling one, and a hard folding one. All have different applications. We start out at around $500, all the way up to about $1,100–$1,200.
So pretty inexpensive, and it's kind of got a cool way to open this as well. It's like a wire in the back. Show us how that works.
So basically, you grab a little wire here, and that pulls it up. And this is our hard rolling one, and it just rolls all the way to the back.
All right, so Truck Hero have your tonneau covers covered, but what if you want a rack system? Now, of course, I have dog kennels and I have dogs with my system, so maybe I want a tonneau cover and a rack system in. Can we do that? Ryan's here from Truck Hero. Ryan, can I have both a rack system and a tonneau cover?
Well, now you can. We've developed a T-slot rail here that works with several of our inside mount bed covers. Also, you can mix and match rack systems as well with that. We also designed a ladder rack that also allows you full functionality of your tonneau cover, whether that's a folding or a rolling cover, without contacting the side rail.
Thanks, Ryan. There's so much on the floor here at SEMA, we hardly got to bring you any of the crazy stuff. So Mike's been on the floor touring.
All right, guys, well, we're going to call this segment Mike's Top 10 Eye-Catching Unique Vehicle Picks for the 2019 SEMA show. We're going to start it off right here at number 10. This is a Ferrari 458Y. Who doesn't love Ferraris? And most importantly, my son, he loves Ferraris. Number 9, looking for a little something crazy? Well, it's the Ripsaw EV. Number 8, you can't have SEMA without a lot of big trucks. Number 7, Jeep Gladiator, one of the 2019 SEMA show's hottest vehicles. Number 6, one of the best restorations here at the show. It's a 1957 Chevy, and arguably the best paint, candy apple red. Our number 5 spot is the 2015 Lamborghini Huracan. It's all about performance. Coming in at number 4, check out this lowliner hot rod from Mopar. Number 3, the early Ford Bronco and the Ford Bronco R racing prototype here at SEMA. Number 2, this wasabi-wrapped Toyota Supra and 12 of its other bandmates. All right, guys, here it is. Our number 1 pick for the 2019 SEMA show. This one's got a little bit of a twist. This is actually a 2018 Dodge Challenger. Why are we taking time to show you the crushed front? Well, it's because it was stolen days before the SEMA show. It was then recovered by the Las Vegas Police Department. Then it was released by the police department, and they still made it here to the show.
We were in Vermont when we heard that the vehicle was stolen here in Las Vegas. The gentleman that stole it stole a truck, then stole the car and trailer. Drove it 17 miles away, unloaded the car, took it for a big joyride, and the police officers in Vegas tried to track him down on the security system we had on it. Finally, he ran over something, knocked the radiator hose off it. He ended up parking it in a parking garage and getting on a bus and trying to get out of town, but they did catch him.
All right, well, that wraps our top 10 unique stories here at the 2019 SEMA show. Let me just close it with this. The automotive aftermarket, true testament to performance. This vehicle outran 14 police cars.
Coming up on Fox Sports as our coverage of the SEMA show continues, we're going to take a look at the new Bronco. Not the actual street Bronco, but Ford have shown a Bronco that actually challenges people to get back into racing, and Ford had an announcement. That's all coming up as our coverage of the 2019 SEMA show continues.
You're watching SEMA on Fox Sports.
Nick, I've got something special for you guys. It's not just about cars on carpet at the SEMA show. We also get to go outside. Now, you ready for this? A little bit of an exclusive. It's the all-new Ford Bronco. This is actually their race-ready Baja 1000 vehicle, but it gives you a glimpse at the future. More on that, but over to my friend Shelby Hall, granddaughter to the late Rod Hall. Tell me about 50 years with the Bronco and why this vehicle makes sense for this vehicle.
This vehicle made history. 50 years later, it still holds that history, so it only makes sense to bring it back. Bigger, better, got to take it to Baja.
And you're going to drive the new vehicle.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, so I get the rare opportunity of taking this vehicle for a little run in the desert. Now, I gotta be dialed in with a little bit of gear, right? So we got the gear. Now let me tell you about it first. The production version of the Ford Bronco, when it comes out next year, will be built on the T6 frame. That's the Ford Ranger frame. All right, it'll have a double wishbone suspension up front. It'll have a solid rear axle, and it will definitely come with locking differentials, which is something that you want with a Ford Bronco so that you can crawl off-road. Under the hood of this, you will have a V6 EcoBoost motor. As far as the transmission goes, it'll be a 10-speed transmission, and that again will help provide great fuel economy, but will also make it a fun vehicle to take off-road. But let's just face it, today we're here to take this Bronco for a little run.
Well, that concludes our coverage of the 2019 SEMA show here in Las Vegas. Mike, what do you take away from the show?
Well, I'll tell you can definitely feel the presence of the Bronco. The new production version is going to be coming in spring next year. There are more early Broncos here at the show than in any year in the past. Nick, what's your call?
I have to say there's 10, 20, 30 cars that I'd like in my driveway. The truth of the matter is, the one car that is still at number one on my list, and I have convinced my significant other to let me buy one, is the brand new Toyota Supra. That concludes our coverage of 2019. We'll be back again next year to cover SEMA. I'm Nick Miles.
I'm Mike Caudill, and thanks for watching.